Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about gear because I know there are a lot of players who are preparing for the Stia region, so you're coming back into NGS but you haven't played since Alio or Retem and you're kind of lost or confused on what weapons should you be investing in, what armor should you be getting, and if it's even worth upgrading any of your armor right now. Well, in today's video we're going to be answering all of those questions, but before we jump into that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to talk about is there is currently a seasonal event going on, and throughout this seasonal event there are a lot of freebies that you can pick up in order to accelerate your progress as well as save a lot of very important resources which you're going to need when the Stia region comes out. So the very first thing I want to get out of the way is you do not need a Kaizaar weapon. I know I've made videos before talk about, hey, you need the Kaizaar weapon, you can farm for it by doing this and that, blah blah blah. But at the current state of the game, you do not need the Kaizaar weapon because Stia is literally coming out in 2 weeks. By the time you farm all the materials in order to make your Kaizaar weapon, it's literally going to go out of date in a week or two. So it's a huge waste of resources. Do not go for the Kaizaar weapon. So a lot of people may be asking, all right, if I don't go for the Kaizaar weapon, what 7-star rarity weapon should I be going for? And you really only have two choices realistically. The first choice is going to be the Pre-Stia weapon, which is going to be the event weapon, and the second choice is the Obsidia weapon, which you can also get for free by completing the Ordinal Tower. Now the reason I didn't include a rugged weapon is because the rugged weapons are still crazily overpriced. Even if you get one for like 1,000,000 Meseta or 500,000, it's still not really worth it, considering that the rugged weapon's only around 2% better than the Pre-Stia and Obsidia weapons, so there's no real reason why you should be spending so much Meseta and so many resources on a weapon just for a 2% damage increase, which again is going to be outdated in 2 weeks. So my recommendation is going to be the Pre-Stia weapon simply because you can pick them up extremely easily, and second of all, the level requirement is lower. As you can see, the Pre-Stia weapon only requires you to be level 55 versus the Obsidia weapon, which requires you to be level 61. And on top of that, you can pick up your Pre-Stia weapon very easily by talking to the event lady over here. Now she's located in all the towns, so if you're still in Central City or Retem, you can still find the event lady. So either way, you talk to her and then you go to exchange seasonal points. Remember, in order to unlock the second tab over here or the secret shop, you will need to do her quest line, so just power through that. It's actually really easy to do. And once you go to her main shop, you're going to notice here is a bunch of Pre-Stia weapons for 10,000 seasonal points. Now seasonal points are extremely easy to farm for. All you need to do is go to a combat zone, slay a couple things, or just do a bunch of limited time quests, or run the practice drill Autumn Night Alio defense, where you simply talk to the quest counter, you accept these, and then you can farm a bunch of seasonal points by doing this. Now another advantage of running the practice drill is you actually get a lot of EXP, so if you don't have anyone to carry you through the yellow triggers in order to power level you, you can always run these instead, and you actually get a significant amount of experience per run. So please take advantage of this if you are planning to power level any of your classes. So now you finally got enough seasonal points to pick up your Pre-Stia weapon, so what is the next step? There's no real next step other than to get it to plus 50 as well as unlock its potential, and I wouldn't really worry about the augments. Now I did spend a little bit of effort on my augments, however you don't have to do it because, you know, in 2 weeks time we're going to be throwing away these weapons and we're going to be replacing them with other weapons. And the new weapons we're going to be using once we get to the Stia region is going to be the new 8-star weapons. Now these new 8-star rarity weapons are called the Prim Libre weapon series, and as for the stats themselves, they will give you 601 attack at plus 50 or enhancement level 50, and the effect of the level 1 potential is going to give you 18% potency, HP recovers by 4% every 10 seconds, and the effect starts 10 seconds after being equipped. So some of you guys may be looking at the attack of my Pre-Stia weapon and going, wait a second, 601 damage versus 659 damage, that's kind of a huge difference. Isn't the Pre-Stia weapon better? Well, the thing about the Pre-Stia weapons are these are good for seasonal enemies because of this augment right here. This augment gives you a lot of potency, critical hit rate, as well as damage resistance, but only against seasonal enemies. The moment the season ends, this augment's going to be pretty useless and you're going to need to replace it with something else. Now you can still use a Pre-Stia weapon if you want to stick with it because its potential is actually still pretty good. You know, potency plus 25%, 25%, as well as plus 6 PP whenever you defeat nearby enemies. It's still really good for combat zone farming, but the thing is, this weapon over here will not have a fixa unless you farm for one or buy one from the marketplace. Personally, I wouldn't buy anything from the marketplace at this point of time unless it's a cosmetic item. I would just farm for all the gear as well as augments for myself and just avoid spending any Meseta, because I know for a fact once the Stia region rolls out, we're going to get a whole new tier of weapons, a whole new tier of armors, as well as new augments. So basically everything that's going for a lot of money right now is going to drop in price drastically when the Stia region comes out, because there's going to be better versions of everything. Okay, but if you really like a specific weapon, maybe you really like your Pre-Stia weapon or you really like your Obsidia weapon, you can stick with that weapon and invest a little bit. Again, I would not invest too much, simply because the Prim Libra weapon series over here is the baseline. For all of my OG players which played when Kaizaar was first released, you may have noticed that we got the Evil Eclipse weapons for free throughout these preparation tickets, and well, that weapon got outdated very quickly. It was very good as a stepping stone weapon where you just use the weapon in order to farm all the other content so that you can get better weapons, and the exact same thing is going to happen with Stia. So what you're going to do right now once you get your Pre-Stia weapon is simply work through all of these limited time quests over here which reward you with these Stia expedition preparation tickets, because you're going to need these tickets in order to exchange for your Prim Libra weapons, which are the 8-star rarity weapons, which is going to replace your Pre-Stia weapon so that you can farm in the Stia region very comfortably. Now, while we're talking about the limited time quest, don't forget to do all of these limited time quests which reward you a ton of star gems. All right, we're talking about 1,000 star gems total, so you want to make sure that you blast through all of these. Now make sure to check your limited time quest tab after every maintenance, because before Stia comes out they will be adding more and more of these limited time quests which reward star gems, so you want to make sure that you do all of them in order to maximize your rewards. But now that you've got your weapon covered, what about your armors? If you are just starting out and you have absolutely no armors, just pick up the Sasato armor from the event shop. You can buy 3 copies of it and just equip it. There's no real need to upgrade it. You don't need to limit break it. You don't need to do anything. You just simply buy all 3 and equip them. Now, if you're too low level, because this does require level 42, it's okay. Just buy the Vios armor. This requires level 24. If you're still too low level, then you go with the Keldi armor, which is level 10. So these are going to be your stepping stones. At level 10, you get your Keldi armor. At level 24, you pick up your Vios armor. And finally, at level 42, you pick up your Sasato armor. Now, once you hit max level, you will be able to do a specific piece of content, which will reward you the Ephetus armors. It'll reward you 1 of each. So it'll give you the Arga, the Belta, as well as the Sheza. These armors are very powerful, so you might as well pick them up since they're free. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to come to the Ordinal Tower. The Ordinal Tower has a total of 7 floors. Every time you complete it for the very first time, you get a metric butt ton of rewards. So just make sure that you progress through rank 1 all the way to rank 7. Now you can do the lower ranks earlier if you want to, just to get that boost of rewards as well as resources, or you can just save it until you're level 65 and then do all 7 floors in one go. It's really up to you. And once you get these armors, you can enhance them to plus 50 and equip them if you want, or you can throw them onto the market in order to sell them for a profit. Now, if you absolutely have no armor and you're still using the Sasato armor from the event shop, I do recommend equipping these Ephetus armors. They're actually really good. However, do keep in mind that these 3 armors boost different stats. So you want to go to the second page over here to see what type of stats they boost. You can see that the Arga variant, or the red colored one, boosts your melee damage as well as range damage. So let's say that you're a ranger or a gunner and you use range damage, well then the Ephetus armor Arga would work for you. However, the Belta armor would also work because this also boosts range damage. But the Sheza armor would not work for you because this does not boost range damage. This one gives you melee damage as well as technique damage. So make sure that you equip the armors that actually boost whatever stats that you want. Now, once you get your armor to plus 50, you're going to notice there are 5 augment slots down here and they're empty. So what should you fill them up with? Well, if you finish the Event Lady's quest line, you will unlock the secret shop over here, which actually gives you a lot of really powerful augments down here. So what you want to do is you want to look at all of these augments and see what stats they boost and purchase the ones that fit you. So for example, if you need range damage or if you need tech damage, then you can buy this capsule right here. Now keep in mind, the capsules do have different categories. So for example, the Gigas variants over here, you cannot stack multiple Gigas on top of each other. You can only pick one of these augments, okay? Then as for the soul category, you can only apply one onto your armor as well. And finally up here, there are the regular stat capsules, which you can only apply one onto the armor as well. So even though you can purchase multiple copies and you can purchase purchase all of these really good capsules, I do recommend purchasing all of them by the way, you won't be able to shove all of them onto your armor. So let's say I'm a technique user, I won't be able to apply Efroy's Soul P over here, as well as Thali's Soul P over here, because they both have the Soul prefix, which means they are of the same category, so I have to pick one, I can't apply both of them, alright? And once you've done all of that, your battle power should be relatively close to 3,000. You're probably going to be around 2,900 to 3,000 in that range, and that's good enough. You are ready for Stia. So in conclusion, don't invest too much into your current gear right now, simply because all of it is going to be outdated in 2 weeks. You just want to make do with what you have right now, what the event shop has to offer, and just take it easy until Stia comes out, because the moment Stia comes out, everyone is going to go very hard on the new combat zones, on the new story, and the new region, and there's going to be a lot of free stuff by just completing the story. So you don't want to invest too much into your current gear right now, since all of it is going to be outdated very soon. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the here